And so kind of had an idea. I was like, yeah, business is a masculine game that is built on like business is about like chess moves, but the chess board is relationships. It's all about people, right? And so I made this video called Business is a Masculine Game because that was the lesson I learned, business should be about logical decisions and stuff like that, right? I posted that video and Erin had hit me back right on Instagram. She was like, "Hey Jaden, checked out your video and I loved it." And I'm sure I don't need to tell you this, but business also has feminine aspects of it as well. The receiving of money, right, is just as important. And I was like, "Holy shit, you're so right." Like that was like a big eye opener for me, honestly. And I was like, "Yeah, this is very accurate." And so the giving, right, the giving of value is the masculine aspect of business. But the receiving back of money, that's the feminine aspect, right? The feminine, it's about receiving, it's about love, it's about embodiment, it's about, being. And the masculine is about giving, it's about wisdom, it's about pursuing. You know what I mean? And so the masculine is the giving and the feminine is the receiving. And so you can give as much value as you want, right? You can give, you can serve the people, but if you don't have a healthy feminine, if your feminine is blocked, then you won't be able to receive the money you can receive. Huh. Yo, 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 popping gangsters. So in this video, I want to come at you guys with 5 life and business lessons that I've learned over the past few months of serving 5 of my coaching clients, my previous clients, right? So just to give you guys a little background on my YouTube business journey, I started uploading every day on May 15th, okay? And on June 1st, I launched my coaching program for helping like spiritual creators unblock their unlimited creativity so they can become consistent and fulfilled creators. Now, I'm not gonna lie, back then I had a very low self-worth and I didn't really believe in myself that much. So both of my first 3 clients I signed for $16 a pop, technically 17, and then after school, which was like the program I was using for my community, took their cut. It was 16.21 a pop. So that's how it went for me. But after those 3, I'd signed my 4th client, who is now my wife, for $97, and then my next 4 clients were for $200 a pop, right? And so I want to come at you guys with 5 lessons that I've learned serving previous of mine 5 clients, right? So we're going to start with the 3 life lessons, and then we're going to go into the 2 business lessons. Okay? Let's get right to it. So, lesson number 1. This is from my first client, Violet. Ego is the only thing in your way. So, maybe about a month or so into me and Violet working together, it was actually coming up on a month, so maybe like 3 weeks or so. Violet was telling me how like she was having some limited beliefs. She'd kind of been in a rut, and she wasn't really sure if she wanted to like continue with the program. She knew that she wanted help, but she wasn't really sure if she could actually like, I guess, meet the bar that I was kind of setting for her. You know what I mean? Ooh, sorry about that. And I was actually it's kind of funny. So I was literally like in the bathroom about to take a shower when we were like going back and forth on text, and I sent her like this super long text. It probably took me like 10 minutes to write it, and then I hopped in the shower. And after, sent her another one. It probably took me like half hour to write. So I'm literally sitting there like just a towel on writing this like writing Violet this text, right? But um in it I basically gave her this analogy, right? So I love to talk about crossing the moat. And what that means is, like the moat is like the pool of water that surrounds the castle, and the only way to get to the castle is to like go over the bridge or to cross the moat, right? To go through the water and cross the moat. And I told Violet, I'm like, Violet, you signed up for this program because you wanted help. You knew that you wanted to make a change in your life. You wouldn't have gotten into the water, right? You wouldn't have joined me for this program if your true self didn't want to do this. And now that you're in the moat, you're in the hard times, right? You want to look back because the water is getting too cold? That's not you. That's ego trying to be comfortable. Ego loves comfort. Ego fucking loves that shit. All right? Ego doesn't want to do hard work. Ego wants to avoid pain at all costs and chase pleasure. That's what the ego wants. And so I asked her a question. I'm like, are you going to let ego win this battle, even though you set out to make progress? Are you going to let ego keep you in the cycle? Or are you going to go back? You only got halfway through the moat, but you're going to go back? Is that the decision you're going to make? Or instead of letting ego rule you, right? Being led by fear, are you instead going to choose love? Are you going to choose love instead of fear? The love that your truest self, that your highest self wants you to have. That is your high self is based in, right? We are all created in God's image. Genesis 26, right? Genesis 1:26, rather. Let us create man in our image, in our likeness. That is what God said. We are created in God's image, okay? And therefore, if God is infinite love, infinite abundance, infinite creativity, God is infiniteness. And that infiniteness is based in love. And therefore, we are love. And so, if instead of choosing love, right, which is our truest nature, we're choosing fear, the nature of the ego, that means we're not living authentically. And that is not good. Ego, or the belief in separation, ego is just the illusion of separation. It's the manifestation of separation in the mind. Believing that we are separate from God, separate from source, separate from the creator, separate from anything, from any of us, right? Every single thing is one. We are all one. And any belief in separation causes suffering. Separating yourself from your shadow self, separating yourself from your family, separating yourself from society, separating yourself from God. Every single one of these causes suffering. And so instead of being in separation consciousness, return back to unity. I want you to think about this. If you have any children in your life, I have my niece. Oh, I miss my niece so much. But my niece Kat, right? I love her. I love her so much. Think about any children in your life, right? Let's say below the age of like 7, okay? They're full of life, full of love, full of energy. That's because that is our true nature. High frequency, unity consciousness, non-suffering is our true nature. But when we learn programming of the matrix, right, of the physical manifestation, we start developing an ego. And that ego wants to avoid the pain that it has been caused to it, right? Ego wants to avoid maybe the traumas that you've gone through, the struggles that you've gone through. Ego wants to avoid the pain. It doesn't want to face the reality. It wants to suppress. It wants to run away. It wants to run towards pleasure. And all that running towards pleasure probably ain't doing shit for you. It wasn't doing shit for me. I was addicted to video games for 15 years. I was addicted to porn for 10 years. I was addicted to weed for 3 years. I'm not gonna lie. I honestly am still trying to conquer weed and porn. I still like mess up here and there. Honestly, I have been for the past like couple weeks. But here's the thing. When you understand that that's not your true self, when you understand that that's just ego trying to chase comfort, you see that my true nature is just love. And I just want to be in love. How does that look like? Service. The biggest thing, like honestly, the only thing that got me out of my depressed rut was making content. It was service. It was giving love. And so if you want to unfuck your mental health, you need to choose love instead of fear. You need to stop letting ego be in your way. All right, that's lesson number 1 for my first client, Violet. Lesson number 2. This one's gonna be quicker. This is from my second client, Jeremy. Your thoughts create your reality. So Jeremy, not to like talk shit about him, but Jeremy has also struggled with addiction as well. And he stays in this consciousness of I am an addict. And if you stay in that consciousness of I'm an addict and you believe those self, you keep telling yourself those thoughts, that's going to be the reality you create, right? As much as I appreciate what Alcoholics Anonymous does, like AA, all that kind of stuff, I genuinely believe like the steps are great, right? First step is acceptance. I am an alcoholic. You do have to accept that that is who you were. That is what you were acting like. But if you continue to program yourself, I'm an alcoholic, I'm an alcoholic, I'm an alcoholic, that thought is going to stay in your mind. It's going to stay front of mind. And so you're going to create that reality that I'm an alcoholic. And you're going to be resistant to drinking instead of just flowing with life. You're going to be fighting, oh, I can't drink, I can't drink, I can't drink, instead of just being the person who doesn't have an alcohol problem. Your thoughts create your reality. This is an ancient teaching from the yogis of India, the Buddhists, the Hindus, the tantrics of India as well. It's called the mirror principle. And the mirror principle says that your internal state projects out to create your external reality. That your external reality, sorry, is merely a reflection or a mirror of your internal state. And your internal state is created by your thoughts, your mindset. It's created by your emotion, your emotional well-being, what you have inside of here. And so if your internal state is that of negativity, if you're programming yourself to believe that you're an addict, or if you're unconsciously living out other people's goals or visions for you, if you're stuck in the system, if you're a slave to the 9 to 5, if you're a slave to the education system, right? Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I wrote a tweet about this morning. I'm gonna read it to you real quick. You guys want to check out my Twitter in the description? Okay. 99% of people are slaves. Slaves to their mind, slaves to their 9 to 5, slaves to the education system, slaves to their phone, slaves to the people they put onto pedestals. Most people are too busy being comfortable that they never even realize they're not living their life. Most people are living a fucking lie. Straight up. I used to be one of those people. I used to live a lie too. Trust me. I used to tell a bunch of lies. And if you're telling lies, trust me, you're living one. And here's the thing. If you stay in that consciousness of I am this distorted view of myself, right? I am based in ego, right? Like I'm an addict is inherently based in ego because it is about pain, avoiding pain, or chasing pleasure, right? And so if you stay in this programming, whether that's programming of I'm an addict, programming of I have to get a job, programming of business is the like business can't work, I can't do this, whatever programming you stay in, your reality reflects that. God will never try to impose its will on you. God will never be like, oh, you're not living correctly. You're perceiving illusions. Here's how to change that, right? Here, have these beliefs instead. Do this instead. God will never try to impose his will on you. You have free will. You do. You have free will to live whatever life you want to live. But let me tell you, that free will can either bring you great bliss and joy by living in alignment with your authentic self, or it can bring you great suffering by living in misalignment. Your thoughts are the foundation of your reality. If you want to get an idea of how to really start conquering your thoughts, your limited beliefs, check out my free journaling course. It's in the description, okay? You'll see like my playlist there for my free journaling course. You could also check out my free purposeful productivity mini course, and that gives foundation for mindsets. And in that video, I have a 30-minute lecture called The Block Stopping Your Creativity from Flowing. That video helps you identify where your traumas are, where your blocks in your creativity are, where you feel like you can't be authentic, where you feel like you can't be vulnerable. If you pair that video with the video in my journaling course, talking about how to like confront your struggles and your trauma through journaling, those two videos will give you the exact tools you need to find where your limited beliefs are so you can bring them out of the shadow into the light and integrate them so you can be whole again. So you can let these things go that you've been suppressing for months, years, decades even. I get it, I've been there. But if you continue to stay in that, it's going to continue ruling over your life. If you continue to stay in that, it's going to continue manifesting your reality. It's not only the things you're conscious of that manifest in your reality, it's the thing you're unconscious of. And your subconscious or your unconscious mind, the shadow mind, that is most responsible for creating your reality. And so bringing things out of the shadow into the light integrating them, accepting those parts of yourself is the only way to manifest a new reality. Lesson number 2, okay? Lesson number 3. This is from my sixth client, Tristan, okay? So Tristan was the 6th client that I sold. Purpose and alignment over money, right? So Tristan signed with me to be a YouTube client because he thought that he wanted to use YouTube to grow his own coaching business. And after a month or so, he realized that he didn't actually want to do that because money wasn't actually a priority in his life. Tristan's a very successful salesman. Money is not something he's really worried about, but his health, living in alignment with something that actually means something to him. He's very big into health and wellness. I'm not going to tell too much about his personal story because it's not my business to share, but his health is very important to him. And we had a super long, like an hour conversation where I was like, yeah, Tristan, you don't want to make money because that's not something that actually matters to you right now, right? That's not aligned with where you are right now. You're not in a season of making money. You're in a season of health and wellness as your season. You're in a season of relationships as well, right? And so why would you put your energy into something that isn't really serving your most progress, right? That won't really bring you the most joy or fulfillment to your life. Making more money isn't really going to help you out, but having better health, having better relationships with your people, that is where your alignment is at because that's going to bring you the greatest ROI for where you're at right now in your journey. Money is awesome. I fucking love money. And I love making money. But money isn't everything, okay? If you don't have your health in order, if you don't have your relationships in order, right? If those are things that you really value, but you're denying either of those for money, and that's a sacrifice that you're not okay with making, you need to stop making it. If you're okay with sacrificing your health or your relationships for money, all out. I'm not going to tell you what's right or wrong. All I'm going to tell you is if something doesn't feel right, you shouldn't be fucking doing it. It really is that simple. Okay? If it feels wrong in your soul, if there's so much resistance, if you feel like you have to fight against the current, it's wrong. Everything you're doing should be flowing with the current. I'm not gonna lie. I had a bit of resistance, but like before I wanted to come on here and record today, and that was just my brain coping because I didn't feel like doing work, honestly. But right now I'm in the flow state. I love what I'm doing. I'm hyped that I'm making this video because I'm flowing with the current because this is what I should be doing, right? I just got out of a season in terms of prioritizing my mental and spiritual health and prioritizing my relationship rather than having money be my focus. For basically all of the month of August, I was focusing more on health and my relationship and like inner work than on like business. And now I've gone back into the season focusing on business. Right? For like 6 weeks from the end of August, I mean to the from like the end of July to like halfway through September, 6, 7, 8 weeks, I was just fucking like wasn't really focused on business. And so my business wasn't really growing. I wasn't signing any new clients. And now I'm back focused on business and back focused on money. And now I have this flow that I'm going with because I do have that focus. Because I know that that's where my alignment is right now. Work with your alignment. Work with the current. Why would you fight against the current and work 10 times harder instead of just flowing with the current and it being 10 times easier? Doesn't make any sense to me, right? Like my purposeful productivity philosophy goes like this. You will work harder, you will work more, and you will produce better work if you're actually doing something that you love, something you enjoy, something that's meaningful to you and impacting people that you care about, right? So I have 3 F's for purposeful productivity: fun, fulfillment, and flow state. If the task you're doing, if the work you're doing is fun, if it's fulfilling and it gets you into a flow state, it's going to be 10 times easier. You're going to be 10 times more productive and fulfilled than anybody who doesn't have fun, who doesn't gain fulfillment, and is in the flow state while they're doing the work that you're doing. If you guys want to check out more about my personal productivity philosophy, come check out the mini course, all right, in the description. Free 8 minute, I mean, 8 fucking brain. It's a 2 hour long mini course, 2 out of the 6+ hours of the personal productivity course. So it's about a third of it. Check that out. It'll really help you. Like, trust me, that video is straight sauce. I would call up my wife right now so she could give me a testimonial. She watched it. She used to be one of my clients, but I'm not gonna do that because I got business to do. But just trust me, okay? It's sauce and it's free. Just check it out. You don't even need to give me your email. It's right here on YouTube. Okay? But if you do want to give me your email, you can go to my free newsletter. That's in the description. That's the first link. and you'll get a free ebook. Sound good? Lydiana. All right, so those were the three life lessons that I learned from serving three of my previous clients, right? First one was ego is the only thing in your way. Choose love instead of fear. Second was your thoughts create your reality. Stop programming yourself with bullshit. Bring your subconscious into the light, into the conscious, so you can integrate and so you can see and integrate it, right? So you can level up, so you can heal, so you can be the person you want to be. And three, purpose and alignment over money, right? Don't do anything that feels way too fucking hard that you have pure resistance against. Go with the current instead of fighting against it. Those are the three life lessons. Let's get into the two business lessons. So, this was from my client, Shwana. So, this was my seventh client, right? She was right after Tristan. No one knows about your stuff if you don't tell them. Okay, so in business, there are two levers of business, right? There are two things you need to pull, right? Two actions or, like focuses that you need to have. And that's your product, right? This is what actually like gives people a transformation, provides people value. This is how you get paid in your product or your service. And there's your marketing or your traffic, which is how you tell people about your product, inform people about your product, inform people about you so they come and buy it. Okay? So you need both. You need your product and your marketing. Content is just the same actually. You can have a good video, a great product, but if your traffic, which is in YouTube's case, your packaging, your title, and your thumbnail, if that's not intriguing, no one will ever click or watch your fucking video to see the value. And so if your traffic or your marketing isn't good, no one's gonna buy your fucking product. If your traffic is non-existent, no one's definitely gonna buy our product. And this is what Shwana, like her funnel, kind of looked like. She had like these meditations that she was offering, and Shwana had a 3,000 person audience, but she never did a CTA. She never did a call to action. And her call to action, like your call to action is how you tell people about your product. If you never do a call to action, how the fuck will people know? Right? Most people don't just go checking YouTube descriptions because they feel like it. Honestly. Like, do you do that? I usually don't do that. Unless people tell you to check out the description, you probably won't do it. Right? And so the first time Shawana implemented a CTA in her video, the first video, boom, she made a sale. It's not rocket science. You tell people about your shit, they can go buy it. If no one knows about your product, how the fuck are they gonna buy it? Doesn't make any sense. Okay? Tell people about your stuff. Okay? If no one knows about your product, they can't buy it. That's the importance of marketing. Okay? I'm not gonna talk too much about marketing specifically in this video. If you guys want to check out, can't think of a video I have about marketing right now. I'll make another one soon, so don't worry. Okay? Oh, excuse me. All right, so let's get into the last lesson. Lesson number 5. This is from Erin. That's my beautiful wife, who was previously my fourth client. And then we became business partners because we vibe so well together. And then a few days later, we were like, hey, we like each other. And then a few days later, we were like, hey, let's get married. And then a couple weeks later, we got married. That's how Erin and I's stories kind of went. So this is actually a lesson that I learned not from coaching Erin or like her, like, having like something that we've gone back and forth with. This is actually, I learned this lesson from Erin a few days before we actually started working together. So Erin found my channel, I believe it was June 24th or 25th. She found my YouTube video. So yes, I literally met my wife on YouTube. She found my video, she commented on one of them, and then the next day she commented on another one, and that was a video about business. So I was like, ooh, we're talking business? Like, let's talk more, right? Because I'm just in love with business. And she wasn't like super comfortable sharing like all that information on like in the comment section for whatever reason. I guess it was too personal. She does a lot of yapping, but so she'd hit me up on Instagram, right? And so we started like going back and forth on Instagram, just talking business and developing a friendship, and it was really awesome. And so, um, this was like the second to last week of July. Now, on the 30th, on the 29th or the 30th of July, I don't remember which days exactly, or of June rather, the 29th or the 30th of June, sorry. I had did my last ever videography shoot. So I used to do videography for a couple months with a couple entrepreneurs. One of them is named Rich, who I'm actually like a brand ambassador for his program that he's starting to build out. It's called Lao Mom, least amount of effort, most amount of money. So you guys will probably be hearing about that from me on my channel more soon. But I also worked with a hard money lender and real estate investor. His name is Joe. And Joe asked me to come pop out and shoot video do photography and some video for him for his event. Right. And he'd actually hit me up the day before, I believe the 29th. And this day I literally created my purposeful productivity course. Remember the course I was telling you about earlier, the mini course? Well, I actually created the whole one over the course of 2 days. The first day I recorded 14, actually no, it was 16 and a half videos. But the last 2.5 videos didn't have my mic on, so it was kind of depressing. So I recorded 16 and a half videos, but only 14 of them were actually be able to use for the course. I recorded 14 videos on the first day, and the second day, so like Joe hit me up the morning that first day. The second day, I recorded the other 6 videos. So I literally recorded 2 videos in 24 hours. Started the first day, or 25 hours rather. The first day I started at 10 a.m. and the second day I ended at 11 a.m. So I literally recorded 22 videos. It was probably like 7 hours and 25 hours, right? So I went fucking nuts. Um, and so I hit Joe back after I recorded. I'm like, yo, Joe, I'm not gonna lie, my brain is cooked. Like I'm not trying to come to this event, right? And we kind of like went back and forth about like, oh man, I really need you, Jay. And I'm like, I don't really want to do this. Honestly, I kind of felt like I was, I'd be like, I kind of be like people pleasing. That's how I felt. And I felt like this was kind of the test from the universe for me. It's like, are you going to people please or are you going to pick yourself? And I chose myself, right? I said no. And I kind of left Joe hanging. And although it felt good, to like feel like I chose myself, there was something inside of me where I was like, this doesn't completely resonate. And so I went downstairs to my dad's office to talk to him about it because him and Joe are actually business partners. And he was like, "Yeah, Jay, you know why you feel bad? It's because you made an emotional decision only considering yourself when you should have made a logical decision considering yourself, considering Joe, considering the relationship that you and Joe have." Right? And so I was only thinking purely about me instead of thinking about me, Joe, and Joe and I's relationship and how like my decision could be affecting Joe. And I was like, ah, okay, I understand now. And so kind of had an idea. I was like, yeah, business is a masculine game that is built on like business is about like chess moves, but the chess board is relationships. It's all about people, right? And so I made this video called Business is a Masculine Game because that was the lesson I learned, business should be about logical decisions and stuff like that, right? I posted that video and Erin had hit me back right on Instagram. She was like, "Hey, Jaden, checked out your video and I loved it." And I'm sure I don't need to tell you this, but business also has feminine aspects of it as well. The receiving of money, right, is just as important. And I was like, "Holy shit, you're so right." Like that was like a big eye opener for me, honestly. And I was like, "Yeah, this is very accurate." And so the giving, right, the giving of value is the masculine aspect of business. But the receiving back of money, that's the feminine aspect, right? The feminine, it's about receiving, it's about love, it's about embodiment, it's about, being. And the masculine is about giving, it's about wisdom, it's about pursuing. You know what I mean? And so the masculine is the giving and the feminine is the receiving. And so you can give as much value as you want, right? You can give, you can serve the people, but if you don't have a healthy feminine, if your feminine is blocked, then you won't be able to receive the money you can receive. And I learned this and I was like, "Oh shit, you're right." And I started getting more into my feminine. I started going outside on nature more. I started to draw and like dance more. I started to like be in music more, right? Just things that I thought could like open me up in my feminine. I also started to see where I still had shadow work to do in terms of relationships with my mom and my grandmother, right? And once I was able to do that work, I popped off, right? July 4th, I signed Erin. She became my client on July 4th. I believe July 6th, I signed another one. I signed another client. Her name was Ali. On July 7th, I signed Tristan. And then on July 9th, I signed Shwana. And then on July 13th, I signed my client Lala. So from July 4th to July 13th, I signed 5 clients, which made me $1,189.64 in 9 days. All because I realized that I hadn't truly opened up my feminine. I didn't open up the channel for me to receive money. And so my money was getting blocked. But as soon as I did open up that channel, it came flowing in. You need the masculine and the feminine aspect for business, right? You need the masculine strategies. I talked about this in my last video about how I help men to make money online and money beliefs. You need the masculine strategies, you need the structure, right? The giving, but you also need to be in flow. You need to be able to receive, right? You need the feminine flow, the feminine energetics. It's very important to give value, to put it out, right? But after you've done your giving, you need to be in receiving energy. You need to detach from the outcomes. You need to just be in your being. That's very important. That's a lesson I've had to relearn over the past week. And now, whenever I give value, whenever I make a video, I'm like, oh, this is lit. And then I just detach from the video because I'm already on to the next one. I'm already on to creating the next thing. I'm already on to writing my next tweet, writing my next newsletter, creating my next video. Because I love the giving, you know? But when I'm not in the energy of giving, when I'm actually creating, I'm in my receiving energy. I'm in my feminine. You need both. You need the giving and the receiving. You need the structure and the flow. You need the strategies and the energetics, the masculine and the feminine. So those are the 5 lessons, guys. First one from my client Violet, ego is the only thing in your way. Choose love instead of fear. The second one from my client Jeremy, your thoughts create your reality, right? Stop programming yourself with negative thoughts or limited beliefs. My third lesson from my 6th client Tristan, purpose and alignment over money, right? Going with the flow instead of fighting against it. Fourth one from my 7th client Shawana, no one knows about your stuff if you don't tell them, the importance of marketing. And fifth one from my 4th client Erin, who's now my business partner and my wife, the importance of masculine structure and feminine flow. You need both the masculine and the feminine in business. So guys, hope this video was helpful. Hope you found it valuable. If you're interested in the masculine strategies of YouTube business branding, fucking can't talk right now. I've been talking for like an hour straight. I just recorded a 26-minute video before this, and now I'm 30 minutes into this video, so please forgive me. If you want to if you want to take advantage of your masculine and your feminine aspects for business, I want to help you do that with my Digital Alchemist coaching program. The Digital Alchemist is about turning your pain, your previous pain, the struggles that you went to, turning your struggles into service, right? Turning your pain into purpose and profit. And so you not only need to know the masculine strategies, which are the actual like YouTube strategies and the coaching strategies, building your funnel, making your content strategy. You not only need to have like the YouTube personal branding and monetization aspect down, right? You also need the feminine energetics, which is the inner work. Like I told you guys earlier, your internal state creates your external reality. The mirror principle says that everything that you have internally will reflect in your external. And that is true in your life circumstances, that's true in your relationship, that's true in your business, that's true in your art, that's true in your content. Whatever you're putting out there, it's a reflection of you. And so you need the feminine energetics. You need to do the inner work. You need the mindset training. You need the shadow work. Pull the things out that you don't truly see, that are not integrated, that you've been pushing off, that you've been not accepting. You need to bring those into the light and integrate them into yourself, right? So if you'd like some help unblocking your creativity, getting your mindset down right, doing the shadow work, and leveraging all of that, right? Turning your pains into purpose and profit through YouTube personal branding, YouTube business building as a coach, as a mentor, or as a course creator. I want to help you do that. I want to help you with your spirituality, with your feminine, and with your business building, with your masculine. Okay? So if that sounds something that you want to take advantage of, come shoot me a DM on Instagram or on Twitter, or you can send me an email. Let's talk details. All right? I'd love to help you out. Do it today. Be better for it tomorrow. Stay blessed. Stay loving. Catch you on next vid. Ciao.